Hi, I'm Don Hahn. I'm the producer of Lion King,
I'm Rob Minkoff, director of The Lion King.
And Roger Allers, director of Lion King.
and we're here to perform the top 40 hits for you. No, we're here to comment for you on the making of The Lion King and kind of share some of our experiences with you right here in your own living room.
The project started actually as King of the Jungle, and the original concept was to do a picture in Africa about lions, but no one at the time knew what the story was going to be.
And it kind of evolved from there into being an original story, which is unique for us. Usually we do stories based on fairy tales or novels or bits of literature, but Lion King was unique in that it was completely out of thin air, even though it was informed by a little bit of Hamlet, a little bit Old Testament Bible stories like Joseph or Moses, that kind of thing.
Originally, in the opening of the picture, we were going to have a dialogue scene to introduce the characters, to introduce baby Simba, introduce Rafiki as the shaman coming to bless the child.
Right. Actually, we had scenes of the animals walking to Pride Rock, and then we had Zazu talking about everybody must get in line, get in line. There was so much chatter, and at that time also Rafiki, no one knew who Rafiki was, but when we heard Hans's version of how he Africanized Circle of Life, we all just went crazy.
In 4 minutes of music, Elton John and Tim Rice, God bless them, created this beautiful, what became an anthem for the movie that defined the spirit of the movie and the theme of the movie.
In the shot where we rack focus from the ants in the foreground to the zebras in the background, that was the concept from the storyboard, where we were literally trying to do something that's very common in a live action picture, but it's very rarely seen or never seen in an animated picture. Which is literally to use the focal length of the camera. But in our case, we have to kind of replicate what that might look like if you're, under these circumstances where it's artificially done, and yet gives you that sort of sense that you're really looking at a real world.
The whole fly-in scene where you reveal the kind of African savannah and you see Pride Rock for the first time. Pride Rock is kind of like the castle for the lions. Is all done in one continuous shot. It's all done in one. You go from this vast overview of the savannah into a close-up of Mufasa without cutting. Now, the great thing, like with this shot of Rafiki coming up, it gives you the feeling of sunlight filtering through the characters, and it's all the kind of great caps magical tricks that you can do with special effects, animation, and graphics.
Or the clouds, which are actually a flat two-dimensional painting, which is skewed by the computer.
So that skewing means it kind of stretches it out.
And always when we previewed the film, I remember going to the Pasadena theater for the first time where we previewed it, and little Simba turns around for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Always was a surefire awe from the audience.
It's an moment.
And the funny thing about Circle of Life, it's a great standalone piece because without giving anything about the movie away, it kind of gives you a sense of epic scale in Africa and all that kind of stuff. And it went out in November, the year, like 6 months before the movie was released.
That's right, exactly. And the thing that we were all so worried about was that nobody would know what the title of this movie was because they hadn't heard it before. That was a big concern. Do you think people are going to go? So different shots.
Here's something that the folks in the theater probably would never care about.
No.
But we really cared about it, trying to get all the clouds in the backgrounds to match speed.
There's actually several different paintings of Pride Rock that we had to match from one to the next.
Right. The cliff he stands on, because you get so close to it, was painted really large, so that when you got close, the detail was clear for the large movies. But it had to be shrinking down to fit onto Pride Rock. So all those things. Now, how many levels do you think we had? How many background levels?
It's too numerous to mention.
At this point.
Anyway, those are the sort of things people like to hear about. We don't remember them.
That's one of the great things about the CAPS system, which is our fancy computerized animation production system, where you can put together seemingly endless levels of animation and backgrounds and clouds and effects and things and sandwich them together without being limited by reality, because it's all done in a digital universe.
Right. It's the ultimate multiplane camera.
Yeah. We're rarely limited by reality.
Well, yes, especially you guys. Okay.
Reality unlimited.